Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Daydreaming. My name is Haley J. Jones, and today I'm going to be going over my everyday skincare routine and then everyday makeup routine with a little bit of pizzazz because I've got some special plans today. But yeah, so I am going to be going over just how I do my makeup. I don't know if I'm doing it right. But I like to think that there's no really like right or wrong when it comes to makeup. So if you see something that you like that I do, feel free to copy it. If you see something that you don't like that I do, feel free to not copy it. I think makeup is totally individual. It's definitely all about like your personal preferences. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is do my skincare. So I get some cotton pads and I start with the Clinique Clarifying Lotion in number 2. And I'm just freshly showered, so like all of my makeup is already off. But I just put a little bit on a cotton pad and just kind of rub it around. I make sure I get my T-zone really well because I tend to get oily here-ish. So I really just try to like scrub there, then make sure I get my jawline because that can sometimes get a little oily too. And then the next thing I do is this vitamin C serum. And then the next thing I do is this vitamin C serum. I just take the dropper and put a few drops in my hands and then just kind of rub it together. And then I'm just gonna pat on my skin. So just rub that in. You can take it all the way down your neck if you want to. And then I'm just going to moisturize. This is a moisturizer I use every single day. It's the Neutrogena Hydro Boost in the extra dry. If you want to see all of my like beauty products, I have a 15 favorite beauty products video that I did a little while ago. But yeah, so I just rub this in all over my face. Make sure I get my forehead and my eyelids. Like for some reason my eyelids get really dry. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, so that looks good to me. All right. And then after that, I am gonna go ahead and move into my makeup routine. Okay, so for makeup, I usually start with my eyes. If you guys are seeing that I'm not like looking in the camera all the time, it's because I have my viewfinder on. But yeah, so I usually start with my eyes, especially if I'm doing like a really like smoked out look or something like that. Then you want to start with the eyes so that you can really like clean up here with your foundation. But I'm not doing that, but I'm still gonna just kind of show you guys that so that you can see it. So the first thing I do is get my foundation because I'm gonna put that on my eyelids. You can use concealer and like that kind of stuff. I just like this foundation because it's really like, it's still full coverage, but it's really light. So I just paint it on my face like this. Very good. And this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Soft Beige. And it's really cheap and it smells like paint. But it works great. So I'm just gonna stick to what I know. Grab your beauty blender. I wet this before the video and I'm just gonna use this little mirror here so that I can kind of see what I'm doing, but we're gonna go ahead and blend this. So again, trying to be careful with that eye skin because it's more likely to like wrinkle if you like tug on it a lot. So we're just gonna pat that in and I try to go like all the way to my inner corner. That looks good. Okay, so after that's blended, you are going to take a like really fluffy brush. So I'm using this. All my brushes are dirty, I'm sorry. And I'm just gonna use a super neutral shade. So I have the Morphe, what is this? 35F palette. So it's the Fall into Frost palette. And we're just gonna open this up. You can see it here. And I'm just gonna use this shade right here. It's like a super neutral shade. Pack it onto my brush and I'm just gonna use that to kind of set my foundation on my eyelids. So I'm just gonna like really just fluff that out, come over here and I'll do this side. And this is just to really like avoid creasing mostly. But yeah, so you're just gonna want to buff that into your eyelids. You don't have to be like super precise with it because you're using a really like neutral color. And then we are gonna go into creating some definition for your eyes. Okay, so to create definition, you want to have a darker shade out here, and this is all like relative to your eye shape as well. This is just what works best for me. But so I always have something darker right here and like in my crease, and then something lighter on my lid. I usually do just like pretty neutral stuff, but I'm trying to do like a little pop of like sparkle or something today. So I'm gonna grab another fluffy brush. If I can find it. I need to organize my makeup stuff. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna use this fluffy brush. It's like a tapered fluffy brush. And I'm just gonna dip into, let's say this one, because it's still pretty neutral. And then you're just gonna tap it off. And I'm gonna put it all right here. So I'll try to do it so you can see it. Okay, and then a couple things to point out when you're doing this. One, you want to really like use small little circles because that helps you blend things. But then also, in case you feel like you're putting too much pressure on the brush or anything like that, you want to hold it at the end of the brush. And that really helps to really let the brush do the work when you're like blending or things like that. And you're not holding it down here and trying to blend when you're like just pressing too hard. So yeah, you want to be really like feathery with it, really light. And then I usually stop right there and kind of taper it upwards. So you'll see me doing this sometimes. That's just me like kind of giving the color some boundaries. But yeah, so that's called a transition shade. That's all we're gonna do for today because I don't want this to be like a too dark makeup look, I guess. But yeah, so now we are going to go ahead and add some sparkle onto the lids, and then we're gonna buff all this out with another neutral tone. Okay, so for my sparkly color, I'm going to use this one here. It's kind of like a more tan sparkly, and I'm just going to pack that onto my brush. And then we are going to go ahead with our little mirror again and just pack this right onto your lid. So we're just going to head over to the other side now and do the exact same thing. And then you're just going to take the regular brush that you used for your like kind of neutral color and just kind of blend those colors together so that you're not totally like you have sparkle and then like a brownish neutral color. So I just kind of tap on top of the sparkly color like right out here and just kind of blend them all together like that. Okay. And then to kind of clean up here, because we've got a little bit of a mess going on, I always just grab my original like neutral color brush and we're going to dip right back into that neutral shade. And I just go up and kind of like buff that out so that it's not a super like harsh line. And it gives a little bit softer like of a blend. Yeah. Okay, so now we are going to take a break from our eyes and go to our face. So I do not do like full coverage foundation. So I'm not gonna go like all the way down here. I just kind of do it where I need it. So I usually put it under my eyes. That's a big one because I have like really dark under eyes. And then I'm also gonna put it on my forehead. And a little bit of this goes a long way. It's a really thin foundation, like the formula is very thin, but it really does cover and it really does spread. And then I'm also just gonna go, let's go on the chin. And that should be good. And any excess on your beauty blender, you can obviously like take down here. If you want to do your full face, that's fine too. I tend to have pretty clear skin, especially in the summer. And it usually has like a pretty good overall like tone because I'm tanner. But if you feel like you need full coverage, then go at it. All right, then so you're just gonna take your damp beauty blender and really just like punch yourself in the face with it. So, and always remember to blend like down here because you don't want a makeup line. That's part of the good thing about not really putting makeup down here is it's always gonna match your neck. You just have to be really intentional about blending this in. Okay, and then like we were talking about with the eyes, so if you were doing like a crazy eye look or something like that and you got a little bit messy over here, you would just take some more foundation and just blend so you're creating that line. If you need any like extra coverage there, I'm not going to do it because I'm kind of keeping it natural today, but you can always like layer a concealer or put more foundation on. But yeah, so we are going to go ahead and go into our translucent setting powder. Okay, so I am using the Coty Airspun setting powder. I've got the top right here with some setting powder in it. I talk about this in my 15 beauty favorites or whatever it's called. I'll try to link it down below and then maybe I'll put a card. But it is great because it's translucent, so it's good for any skin tone. But also it doesn't leave you looking like super cakey or anything like that, but it like stays on your skin. It helps your foundation to set. It, like, I could go underwater and I think my makeup would still be okay. But so we're just gonna take our damp beauty blender again, and press into the powder. So your beauty blender is gonna look like this when you take it up, and you're just gonna go right under your under eye. And you're just gonna wanna follow that line there. Same thing over here. Looks good to me. And then wherever you put that foundation. So if you wanna put it on your chin, if you wanna go over here with it, that's fine. I'm gonna stick it on my chin there. And then I am also going to, because we're gonna be contouring, so I'm just gonna take and put it right there. And that's just gonna help brighten up that area and kind of like increase that contrast. And then on my forehead as well, because I tend to get a little bit oily there. I look so stupid. We're just gonna wanna pack that on. And then you just let that sit. I only let it sit for like 5 seconds, just because I don't really need it to like bake that long. That's what we're like technically doing right now. I think it's called baking. And then I just grab like a super, super fluffy brush, like, oopsies, like this. And you're just gonna wanna like buff that off, and then you'll be set. So I'm gonna start down here because I didn't put any foundation down here anyway. Okay, so now that our foundation is set and it is locked in place, I would say, we are going to contour. So I contour pretty like relaxed, I would say. I don't do any like crazy like cream contour or anything like that. I basically just like want my face to look a little more bronzed. So I take another big fluffy brush like this. I am using the e.l.f. bronzer. It is in Bronzed Beauty. And I can try to find all this stuff and link it down below. But so I'm just going to use this one primarily. As you can see, I've hit pan on this one, so obviously I like it. But I'm going to use this one and then just like a touch of that one. And I'm just going to find my cheekbone, which is like right here. So we're going to go right underneath it. And I tend to blend upwards. I think it lifts the face a little bit more. And you're just going to want to use circular motions like we did before. And as you can see, we're kind of just creating a little shadow there. And so it's just gonna taper in your face a tiny bit. I tend to have like baby cheeks, like chubby cheeks. So this is like a necessity for me. I tend to not like do my makeup without a little bit of contouring, even if I am not wearing foundation. I'll just throw some bronzer on my face so that it just looks a little bit more skinny. I don't know. But yeah, so now we're just gonna repeat on the other side. And you can always take that fluffy brush that you knocked off your baking powder with. If you feel like you did it too harsh, that translucent powder that's left on there is really gonna kind of blend it out. I just usually go over my hairline, and then sometimes I'll bring it down to my jaw if I feel like it. But now we are going to finish our contouring with a nose contour. I'm still kind of learning how to do this, but I just thought, what's the harm in trying? So I grab an angled brush like this, just something really, really small. This is from e.l.f. And I'm gonna take that bronzer and I'm just gonna dip into it like this. And then the whole thing with like the nose contouring is you wanna create 2 lines, and the closer those 2 lines get, the slimmer your nose will look, in theory. So we are going to go ahead and try. I'm gonna use this mirror because I don't think I'm talented enough to like do it in the viewfinder. But yeah, so you just wanna create 2 lines and then we're gonna go ahead and buff them out. Okay, so now we're gonna take a little foundation brush and just kind of blend those out. So that's good. So now the kind of counterpart of contouring is highlighting. I do not highlight this, like these parts of my face. For some reason, I just really don't like the way it looks in person. I think it looks great in pictures, but just way too often I will like try it one day and then like look at myself in a mirror and I'm just like, ew, I just look like shiny. Like it just looks like I have like glitter on my face. So I don't like that. I use this little brush, just a tiny little brush from e.l.f. And I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild highlighting powder. This is almost gone. This is in Precious Petals. So I usually just take the tiniest little bit on the top of this brush here, and I'm gonna do my Cupid's bow, just like that. And it kind of just gives your face like some light. And then I'm gonna do my inner eyes. So again, just right on that inner corner. Alrighty. And then I'm gonna do below my brows. Also, my brows are like atrocious right now. I'm trying to grow them out. So I like am trying not to do anything to them, but I have some like little stragglers that are coming up, but that's okay. So I always do like a little dot right here, and then just down the bridge of my nose. And you're gonna want to keep that super, super thin, so that it, like if you just put highlighter all the way down your nose, it's gonna like actually accentuate it and make it look bigger, and we don't want that. Okay, so for my eyes, I am going to be using eyeliner. This is liquid eyeliner from e.l.f. I actually got it in blue instead of black, but I think it pretty much goes on the same. What I do is, so this is like an actual paintbrush. I don't know if you can see it. But so I just kind of make sure it's all like uniform in like a little pointy line like that. And then I'm just gonna take my mirror here and just to go right above my lash line, nothing fancy. I'm not really like gonna wing it or anything like that, just to kind of give my eyes a little bit more definition. I use the Colossal Cat Eye. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, Colossal Cat Eye one. I also like this one. It's the Peacock Flare. And it is crazy, crazy waterproof. I don't need that for today, so I'm just gonna use this one. So I'm going to grab my hand mirror again and apply some mascara. Okay, so for eyebrows, I generally use 3 little tools here. I have a little like double-ended stick here. So this is the Instant Lift brow pencil. I think I have it in taupe, I want to say. Yeah. And so first thing I'm going to do is just take this little spoolie and just brush through my brows. Make sure they're like as neat as they can be currently. And then I'm just going to take this pencil and really no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to go in and kind of like fill in the sparse areas. I'm not creating too much shape. I'm just really trying to make my eyebrows look a little bit fuller. Okay, so after you are done kind of filling in your eyebrows, you're going to want to go through them with a spoolie again and just kind of like blend, I guess. So I just usually take and kind of like go in circular motions, and really try to just like make sure that there's no like really harsh areas of color. Like you can see right here, I went a little wild. So you just take and kind of blend that out and it'll get a little bit softer. And then what I'm gonna do is just seal them. So I use the Clear Brow and Lash Mascara. I used to use this, which is the Brow Fantasy by Color Stay Revlon. And this has a tinted brow gel. I actually favor that over this one. I just haven't been able to find my exact color in that one. It's like always sold out every time I go, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna use this side, which I've already used for my brows, and I just tend to kind of like wipe off the excess gel because there's like quite a bit. And then I just run this through my brows, and then I'm going to take that spoolie and kind of run it through again. And this just kind of sets your brows basically where you want them for the whole day. So if you have really like curly brows or something like that, this will be good for you because it doesn't really, it's like hairspray for your brows basically. And then the last thing I want to do is just add a tiny bit of blush. I tend to really like blush. Some people don't at all, or some people like it over their bronzer. But this is a cream blush. I cannot find this for the life of me. I think it's discontinued. But just any cream blush in whatever shade you think is good for you will work. But I just put it on this huge blush brush and I just stipple it into my face, kind of all over, because I like that little like flushed look. And then I am going to finish the look with just some lip gloss. This is the Filler Instinct by NYX. And it is a lip plumper. I didn't know that at first. I guess I should have with the whole like filler name, but it tingles like a lot. So just be careful if you like don't like that sensation on your lips, then this is definitely not for you. I don't really mind it, but I don't really notice a difference like lip size when I use it. So and that is about it, you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you can take something from this video and apply it to your beauty routine. If you haven't already subscribed, I would really appreciate you doing so. If you have any video requests at all, you can leave them down in the comments below. Like this video if you want to see more content like makeup or skincare and that kind of stuff. And until next time, guys, bye.